Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. I am the Ravenous Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. Last we left off with our Camarilla group, we introduced Mustang to Amanda Marie, the head in the jar. And lucky for her, she managed to recognize some of the scratchings at the base of the jar as Tremere runes, sigils of magic that she's recognized from dealing with trying to find Andrew Givens and having dealt with her Banu Hakim associate. Melvin also recognized Amanda from the picture in the house that belonged to Joshua. Also learned about Thomas and how he created Joshua and how together they were the ones that ended up killing her after she had been turned. She mentioned that the little boy in the picture was also their son, who was the only one of their children to survive. His name was Colt. They asked about the other children they had, and she said that they had lost Penelope and Persephone before Colt ever came around. She also revealed that it was Wesley Ian Garter who was the one that created her, or at least one of his flunkies, because Joshua has a vendetta against him. We shifted to the next night, being Saturday, October the 27th now, 1984. Both of them woke up and immediately got hungrier. We got to see some of flashbacks of Melvin's past and some of Mustang's as well. But they got a phone call from Tulip telling them that they should be wary and asking if everybody was safe. They noticed that Connie wasn't there either, and it looked like she hadn't slept there that night or that day. But they took off, and as they did, they could hear sirens in the distance. They could see a plume of smoke coming from the southwest direction, where normally you would go towards the historical town, but that's also where they realized that the Lucky Dime Diner is, and that's where you can usually find Sheriff Greene. They arrived to see some SWAT vans and police having quarantined the road. Melvin did what Melvin does best and became invisible and snuck around trying to figure out what's going on. Mustang climbed up one of the side buildings, the adjacent buildings, and did her best Olympic dive down onto the roof of the diner, where they met each other and kind of dealt with the information they'd found. They overheard, or at least Melvin overheard them talking about how they didn't get to use any of their weapons, but they were hopeful for the next spot because they have it on good authority that there's usually some people there that are worth taking shots at. And they mentioned heading over to the Last Call bar. One of the big things that they did is to make sure that the Last Call got prior warning, and that hopefully their warning meant that at least Senator Wood would escape unharmed. They also tried looking for the sheriff to make sure that he wasn't part of the collateral damage that took place in the diner, because it was burnt out. Melvin also noticed that these guys were not using regular rounds, but something different and something that had been dusted or coated with something. They called Tulip to try and figure out what was going on. They mentioned that Leslie was around, and she revealed that it looks like First Light has been monitoring the phones, and that's how the attack happened in the first place. They mentioned something about the Asian group having used them for cover with the theater, and then she mentioned that they were currently in Hayesville and told to meet off of Lancaster and Ward, where the Sad Clown Bar is. So they quickly returned to find that Mustang's car is gone. Some trails of what looks to have been a hurried escape were evident, but they also noticed that there were some holes in the walls where the car, opposite the car, and they found the rifle bullet that easily crumbled once it was barely touched. Melvin's bearskin burned the second he touched it, but Mustang managed to be able to hold on to it for a little bit because of her gloved hands. They smelt the lingering scent of sulfur on the bullet, iodine, and something else that they couldn't recognize. They stole what is a classy car and took off at the slowest speed possible for this car, which is the fastest it could go at the same time, and made it to the Cyclone bar in a little over an hour. They sat down. They got to meet Charlie, the bartender, who was very handsy with one of the other patrons there. And Sheriff Greene mentioned that someone had called the diner asking for him by name, and that it could have been Erickson. And although it was careless, he's not blaming him for the attack, as it is difficult to take note of what's right and what's wrong. And now they also mentioned that they saw them heading out to the last bar, and by the time they got to the Cyclone bar, the news had already reported that the last call bar had been set ablaze. There was a controlled fire, and by the time firefighters got there, they managed to preserve most of the rest of the building, but the bar was totally burnt out. And we left off with the three of them kind of discussing what happened, and Sheriff Greene asking them if there was any pressing matters that they should discuss as a group. And this is where we're going to find our pair again. Hello.
Hello.
There you go. Now we can hear you. So, you've had some time to think about it. Is there anything pressing that Sheriff Greene should know?
I give him an update. I just kind of look to the sheriff and I just say, well, seems we have one less concern to worry about. Guernsey no longer exists.
You mean you took her out?
No, I didn't even know what she really looked like until I met her unintentionally. Another group took her out, but
You got proof?
I mean, I saw it. I didn't really take anything with me. I don't know how to use a lot of these newfangled things. I couldn't video anything or do anything like that.
Right.
I mean,
But you saw them take her out, right?
yeah. I mean, I don't think there was any way she could possibly make it out of what I saw.
All right, good. That's one less piece on the board.
So I gave you a call when we were at the diner.
Right.
These guys from First Light they're not fucking around, Sheriff.
Nope.
They've got some special ammunition. Never seen this before. But I think it's made specific for a specific reason, and I look around. I'm like, if you catch my drift.
He nods. We had given your boy Albert a shotgun shell we found with the same material. We thought we found some paperwork on it calling it Dragon's Breath. Ain't that fucking cute?
They got away with names.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Albert never told me about that.
Excuse me. That was one of the first things that we say him, Connie, and Jane on. Then Jane skipped town into a goddamn soul. That's when
So it looks like this.
I saddled you with them.
Oh, so this was before my my involvement, but
Yeah.
I mean, Sheriff, do we know? You know, this is just another thing. I mean, we knew First Light was here, but and I keep looking around, like
Yeah. Yeah.
watching, and I'm just like, we got the that Asian group coming in. We
Yeah.
got First Light.
We are besieged on all sides, my friend. You see him raise a glass, and then he kind of nods at somebody coming into the bar, and you see this young lady who looks to have long black hair tied back in a ponytail. These soft, kind of milk chocolate brown eyes, pale complexion, uh, kind of dressed like a high school English teacher. Uh, Shirt, open vest, slacks. She's got a messenger bag, and she comes over. She kind of waves at the two of you, and she hands the sheriff a parcel, kind of like a manila envelope. He turns to the two of you. I don't know if you've been introduced or not, but this is Leslie Thatcher. He's one of the other Harpies.
Don't think I've had the pleasure,
She waves.
Miss Thatcher.
Sir, ma'am. Uh, that's what you asked me for, Sheriff. I'm on my way over to see what's up at the bar. He's like, all right, good, good. She nods at the two of you again. Nice to meet
Not
you.
back.
You see her start to
You
walk
too,
back
Miss
out.
Thatcher. I just look at the sheriff and I just look down at the envelope.
Yeah, he has his hand on it. And he's like, this might come into effect later. For right now, I think it's best if I hold on to this. How much do you know about the restaurant outside of Old Town called the Knife and Fork?
I don't know. Is there something I can roll to see if I've heard of it?
Oh shit, yeah. Why not? Um, you can do an intelligence and streetwise.
All right.
Not a bad dice roll for you.
I think I still have hunger too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Intelligence and streetwise. All right. Yeah, that isn't a bad roll for me. But let's see how the roll rolls for me. All right. All right. All right. That's a lot of nines. I like that. All right. No ones, which is good. I got a 9 and a 9 on my hunger die. And then I got 2 more 9s and a 7. And then the rest are 5, 4, 3. So 5 successes. Hello?
Well,
Sorry. I was
Oh,
muted because I was coughing.
okay. I was like,
Yeah.
did I break?
No. 5 successes is fantastic. It gives you enough information to know that the Knife and Fork is a fancy restaurant, upscale clientele. It's existed in the town, in the city proper for a little bit over 20 years. Has a big kind of following. There's at least 2-month waiting period to try and get a seat. And it's not a big place, but it does have 2 floors. And with 5 successes, you also would have known that it was the spot that you could easily find Wesley Ian Garter at.
Okay.
There's a art gallery across the street from it, and Wesley Ian Garter. Where is it? There he is. Being a toreador, you also would know that he owned the art gallery across the street.
Oh, so now I know where Albert was.
Yep.
So I kind of look at the sheriff. I'm like, that's Wesley Ian Garter's place, isn't it? Or across from his place. He's a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bloom and Rose Gallery is his real haven. The restaurant was where he just does his meetings. Not a lot of people knew about the gallery. I think that's why it's still standing. But the restaurant got attacked tonight as part of their little triumvirate, the little trident, whatever you want to call it, triangle of attacks. So he might be a good point of reference for you to try and get some assistance moving forward.
We also have another bit of an issue.
You know,
Maybe you can assist. And I look over at Mustang and I'm just like, her vehicle's gone missing.
and how is this concerned?
It's well, I mean the vehicle definitely has a very, very, very sentimental attachment for Mustang. Also, given the fact that it seems like we're going to have to be traveling around town fairly quickly, to try to stay one step ahead as much as we can once we get there to First Light. We would need the fastest kind of car possible, and I've been in that car and it's fast.
All right, so just get another one.
There's a lot of stuff in there that I need.
All right, well, I mean, this would have been good to bring up once Leslie was still here. All right, let me make a phone call. And you see him get up, takes the envelope with him.
Damn.
Pats Charlie as he walks past him.
I was hoping he would get up and leave the envelope.
Yeah. And you see him.
Well, my money and my guns are still in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I need all that back.
I didn't know what's in the car.
I need my money.
I mean, yeah, you know, aside from the bodiless
child
head.
and the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mention that to the sheriff that there's, oh, by the way, there's a Sabat child and
She's not Sabat.
Oh, well, she's working for a Sabat, or she's being controlled by one.
You don't know
Thank
that.
you. I mean, I don't know that yet. You're right.
Yeah. But after a few minutes, yeah, they did. After a few minutes, you see the sheriff come back, sends envelope, and he sits down. All right, well, Tulip's on her way. She doesn't have a fast car, but she has a reliable car. She can also help you figure out what's going on. Who might have stolen your car, or what might have happened to your car.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a personal matter with you, Sheriff. Well, not with you, but
I mean, go ahead. It's raining, it's pouring. Let's go. Put it on the docket.
As far as you were aware, Mickey went to Chicago, Right.
That's what he said.
Well, some new information has come across my, I guess, desk, if you want to say, or hypothetical desk. That he didn't go east. He was west.
Who told you this?
Reliable source. You know us Nosferatu. We like to
Yeah.
give as much information as give as much information to give you what you need without keeping something close to the vest.
Of course. All right. So, you think he might have gone west first to maybe get a plane, not take the roads?
No. He was somewhere just outside, not too far outside of Salem. I haven't had a chance to go because obviously I've got my duties to you.
All right.
And shit's hitting the fan here, and I'm not one to tuck and run like some of the other vamps.
All right. I appreciate that.
I'm just sharing this information to you.
All right.
Maybe you keep your ear out, and if you hear something,
If it helps any, I can relieve you of your clan whip status, especially in light of the recent situation and the urgings of Prince Hyde. But it seems that Wilhelmina Statler has gone and killed herself, Andrew Gibbons.
we hadn't heard about that, right? I don't
No.
think we heard about that. Yeah.
Nope.
So wait, Givens is dead.
Yeah.
Hmm. And Statler just did this of her own volition.
She's used it to trade in a favor. She wants to be clan whip.
I mean, if you, I've been loyal to you and I've been serving you since I've been here. So
Yeah.
if you think it'll be easier for me to just step down, I'll do it.
Yeah, it'll give you the space you need to go looking for whatever happened to Mickey. Because whatever happened to Mickey might have happened to Malcolm. I haven't heard from him since the last Elysium.
Something strange going on in the northwest. I don't know what's happening, but we need to start getting back into the game.
We normally call it Washington State, but yeah, sure. You see him try to smile, but it doesn't get very far, and he kind of stiffens up again.
Let's just say this, Sheriff Greene. I'll step down. You can do that. Unofficially though. Whatever you need.
Sounds good. I will have Tulip pass on the message to her. That will make her incredibly happy. That'll keep Prince Hyde off my back. Now you realize that you find something nefarious dealing with Mickey. Like, I hope you're gonna bring it to me first.
I'll bring you I'll bring you what I find out. I look at him dead in the face. I'm like, I can't promise you. Something inside me won't act if I find out it's something
All right.
really bad.
That's best I can do.
I mean, technically, I don't work for you anymore, and I smirk at him.
Oh,
I give him like a sarcastic smirk.
He nods at you. He's like, "Well, that was fast."
and I kind of do like a ha 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 laugh.
Uh,
Like a laugh that Mustang or none of the my coterie have ever seen me laugh like that.
yeah. You see this middle height young woman kind of walk over, sits down at the table with you out of nowhere. She's about 5'6", long blonde hair tied back in a ponytail, soft green eyes. She has a light spattering of freckles across her cheeks. And you see that she's kind of dressed in jeans, um, a shirt that says might be from Kansas University, and a kind of cut off and tied um, flannel shirt with the sleeves kind of ripped off. And she looks around. She's like, and then she narrows in on Mustang. "You Connie?" She looks over at Melvin. "She speak English?"
Yes, she certainly does.
"Is that Connie?"
Oh, I said no. You didn't hear me?
No, I didn't hear you.
No, we didn't hear you.
Oh.
That's why we're all just staring like.
Oh no. Hey.
I thought you were staring her down like Mustang would do, and I was like, "Okay, you be hard."
No.
Yeah. You be hard.
No,
I'll
no.
ask the ugly guy.
No, she turns around. She turns around and says, "No."
All right. Sheriff, do you know where I can find Connie? Thomas is looking for her. And he looks at her. He looks back at the two of you. And he looks back to her. I mean, Connie's part of this coterie, but as you can see, she's not here. And then she gets up. She spits on the floor.
Well, wait. Well, before she goes.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever refer to Reginald Hyde as Thomas, or do they actually like give him a special name?
Oh, no. Thomas
Like her
Reginald
saying
Hyde.
Thomas, would it be Thomas Reginald Hyde or
Not at
another
all.
Thomas?
No,
Okay.
another Thomas.
So okay. So she gets up and spits.
Yeah, she gets up. She spits on the floor.
They got some
Well,
pretty trashy clientele here, Sheriff.
she
Ill mannered too.
she puts her hands on her hips and she looks at you. She's like, "How old are you?"
Old enough to have respect. There's other people here you could have talked to. I know where Connie is.
She tilts her head at you. She's just like, "I don't know. You look like maybe 50s, 40s, maybe."
Mm-hmm. And
All right.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who the fuck Thomas is and why he wants to talk to Connie. But
She puts her hands on the table. She looks you dead in the face, and she's like, "Son, I'm older than you." And she looks at the sheriff, and she looks back at you, and with a low tone, she's like, "And I'm a ghoul, so you let that sink in for a second."
so is Thomas your master?
Thomas is my domitor, yes, and it happens to be Joshua's sire. He's looking for Connie. So you know her. You get her to him, or something bad happened to Josh.
Does she know where to find Thomas, or are you gonna give me an address?
I mean, she should. She saw him and his fucking horse.
All right. I'll make sure as soon as we meet up with her that I will relay the message.
Good. You do that. You did. She nods at
You
the
have your.
sheriff,
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything.
and then she looks at you two. Nice to meet you. And she starts to walk out. The sheriff waits until she's out the door, and he hears a car engine turn over, and he just kind of looks over at you. I hate that bitch.
What a coincidence. So do I. Who the fuck was she, Sheriff?
That's
Obviously, she's
Hannah.
Hannah. Okay.
Hannah Deering.
And she's Thomas's ghoul.
She is Thomas's ghoul. What he lacks in sophistication and eloquence, she makes up for.
Wow, he must be terrible then. If that makes up for
Now,
it.
I mean, Thomas is as gangrel as it gets. Like, he knows two things, and that's killing and surviving. And he's good at both.
Most of those gangrels are.
Yeah.
I've seen what Connie can do, and she's young.
Yeah. So imagine an old gunslinger, Civil War veteran.
I read those books.
Yeah. That's what Thomas
Those
is.
are some bad motherfuckers.
Yep.
Well, I guess when I do see Connie, we'll have to relay that message to her. But right now, I think there's more pressing matters in, I don't know, survival with Dying Light running amok.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess we'll go check out. We'll try to meet up with Wesley Ian Garter and see what kind of information he can give us.
Speak of the devil, and you see he stands up. Tulip, just in time. And she kind of comes over. She waves at Mustang. She waves at Melvin. Hey, hi, guys.
I stand up.
Yep.
And I walk over to Tulip, and I just kind of like I look at her for a second. I put my arm like on her shoulder,
Mhm.
like very like lovingly, and I'm like, thank you,
She nods.
thank you,
Yeah.
and I say, you don't understand how much that's it's good to know that you got people watching our back. You're a good one, Tulip.
Yeah, of course.
And I almost am gonna hug her,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, no. Like I stop myself, and I'm just like, nope, that's not. And I sit back down.
Okay.
I'm just like, well, Mustang. Unless you got anything else, I think we should hit the road. We got a couple things we got to try to hunt down your car and go talk to Wesley and Garter.
Go.
All right. Tulip.
Oh, should we tell Tulip? Since he's the other Harpy, or is the sheriff gonna tell her?
With a car?
Yeah.
I think he already told her, right, on the phone. That's why she's here. With
Yeah.
a car?
Yeah. Tulip
So
kind of looks over at the two of you. The sheriff told me to bring my fast car, so I hope it's all right. I think it'd be easier if Mustang squeezes in the back, though.
She like barks. Like she barks a laugh. Like a
yeah, Mustang will probably be driving Tulip.
the
Oh.
car's for me.
Oh. I thought I was driving you around.
Do you want to come with us?
Yeah, but
I'll drive you around.
oh. Nobody drives Helen but me.
Her name is Helen.
Yeah. You want to see her?
Sure.
If it's stick shift, I can't drive it.
Yeah.
I turn to Melvin. I bet it's some beat up Camaro
It
with the
is
seats torn
stick shift because you know
and used.
how Helen knows to use that stick. You come out, and sitting across the street from you is a 1977 Pontiac Trans Am.
Oh, what?
Straight
I
up,
need to look this up. Hold on.
straight up black T-top with the
Yeah,
golden
it is.
phoenix.
Yeah, it is. Just a good old. Yeah, no, that's. I know the Dukes of Hazzard, but still.
Yeah.
Smoking. I had a friend
What is
smoking
it?
the Bandits theme song. So
Yep.
What is it
Eastbound and
now?
down, 1977 Pontiac Trans Am.
there's gonna be poison blasting from there and all types of hair metal.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Don't rob Tulip though. We like Tulip.
So this is better than Mustang's car, right?
Yeah, but then you have to change your name to Thunderbird.
Technically, it is on par with Mustang's car.
Okay.
look at Michelle's face. He's like, yeah.
Mustang. Are we outside? Are we seeing the car? Right now?
Yeah. She's like looking both ways and crossing the street.
That's a mighty fine car, Tulip.
Yeah, it belonged to an ex lover of mine. He ran whiskey across state lines.
I won't hold that against him. I smirk.
I appreciate it. And the second she gets into the driver's seat and she turns the engine over, like you hear it roar.
Must be so happy.
Mustang, are you crying?
The only thing you see is this. The only thing I can akin it to is when Mustang sees an animal, like a cat, and she gets very excited and kind of emotional.
Yep.
So she's like it's all in her eyes, and it's not. She's like trying to like just like chill out, you know. And so Tulip,
Ma'am?
um, could I possibly drive Helen?
I guess, sure.
I can try to squeeze in the back, Tulip, if you want to ride shotgun on Helen.
Yeah, please, Melvin, that'd be nice.
I'll get in the back of Helen.
Oh man.
And I climb into the back.
I don't think Helen's ever had a man in the rear.
You'd be surprised.
Oh. Oh.
And we're going to hell.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Okay, so really, Tulip? That's amazing. Thank you. And she kind of like this is the moment where like she would kind of show some kind of physical affection to someone.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like trying to,
Yeah.
but she keeps stopping herself. Like she's just like,
yeah.
Thank you, you know?
The steering wheel itself, like if you weren't gloved, you could feel just the amount of care that's been taken to the leather that's wrapped around this steering wheel. The gear shift.
Mustang wants to make sweet love to this car.
Like she almost wants to like take off the glove.
Just rub it.
Excuse me. The gear shifter is an 8-ball.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And she kind of looks over at you as she gets into the passenger seat. She puts on her seatbelt. It's a little tricky coming out of second, but I normally just shoot straight into third. You'll see.
Okay. So it's already on, right? She already turned it
She
on?
turned it over. And it's
Alright,
like just
I'm gonna like
just even thinking about touching the gas pedal, just you hear that roar, kind of that unbridled beast waiting to be let loose, and it's almost for a split second your beast kind of pulls back into whatever kind of doghouse you imagine it exists in. Like you see it kind of like retreats for a moment, and then it kind of peeks its head on, just like, give it a go.
so I'm gonna rev the engine a little.
Oh, it
Just to, like
is.
hear it.
It is a monster. You can feel just how unbridled this thing is gonna be.
Oh, happy. So, okay, so where are we off to, Melvin?
Well, I guess the sheriff said about heading over to the art gallery.
Do I know where that is?
If not, Tulip
I mean,
can
I would
guide you.
know.
Yeah,
I would know though too, right?
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
just
Oh,
I could
okay.
guide her too.
him and Tulip can guide you.
Cool.
And as we're
Cool.
driving, I'm gonna keep an eye out for the Mustang.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and she tells you, she's like, if you wanna take it on the expressway, the exit's behind us, not too far.
Yes, I would like to.
As she's already getting on the expressway.
And as you make a U-turn and you kind of start to drive towards the on-ramp, you do feel that it is a little rough to go from first into second. It doesn't always go in the first try, but once you get on the expressway, you just kind of let first gear ride until like maybe 5,000 or 6,000 revolutions, and then you just pop it straight into third, and it takes off. And you're still in fourth when you hit 80,
Oof.
and you're nowhere near redlining. And so when you get into fucking 90 and more, you start to see it kind of really touching the edge of the red line, and she's like, "This is as fast as I normally go when I'm in a hurry."
All right. So I ease up a little. Just like a little, like 5 miles per hour.
Yeah.
We've gone ludicrous speed.
But you are weaving through traffic, through any of the cars out here at this tower, just like a fish in a sea. And when you get off the expressway and you have to like bring it down, it is a little sad that the ride has ended. And as you pull up to the art gallery, you do see that there is no police sitting outside the burnt husk of the restaurant. There's no fire department. There's just the yellow tape. The art gallery is open.
Did the fire happen tonight or?
Mhm.
Okay. So the fire has been like put out.
Yeah.
And it's just like everyone's gone home.
Pretty much. It looks like it.
Okay. What time is it?
At this point, it's maybe like 2:30, almost 3.
And the art gallery is open.
Yeah.
Like for people to come in?
Tulip has, aside from the diner and the last call and this place, has there been any other places that have been hit?
Not that we know of. It was just the three targets tonight. that had something to do with Sheriff Greene.
Wait, so all three of these spots have some kind of correlation to Sheriff Greene?
I mean, they all had phone calls that called the diner and had they misspoke out of turn, and sheriff thinks that's what happened.
All right, I'd say let's pull around to the side there. Let's not be in front of the exploded building.
Yeah. And as you pull around, you notice that for a fire that took place in a restaurant, none of the adjoining buildings saw any damage.
It was just that building.
It was just the actual restaurant. Like even when I don't know, out of character, when Eric set fire to the Tremere places, the businesses adjacent to them didn't catch fire only because there's Tremere magic afoot.
Got it.
This you can see that some of the scorches, there's scorched walls from where the fire kind of lashed out and threatened to encapsulate the rest of the buildings, but there's something about this, and coming from Chicago during the height of the gangland warfare, like this is a controlled fire. Melvin can recognize that.
Okay.
Somebody wanted this and only this to burn.
That makes sense. I'll relay that to Mustang and to Tulip.
Okay.
And just be like, I've seen these type of attacks in Chicago, and they didn't mean to have any collateral damage aside from that building.
They bombs or
What do you mean?
arson.
What do you think it means, Melvin?
It means, I think they're whatever First Light's doing, they're making sure that only places for our kind are the ones affected.
Hmm.
I don't know this area too well, but I'm assuming that the buildings on either side have nothing to do with our kind.
Oh, nothing at all.
I feel like it might even be a calling card, them specifically pointing out that they've got us by our balls because they know exactly where we are. Down to the brick.
You see, she pulls out a small notepad and she starts to write down some stuff. But as you find a parking spot and you pull the car in and you put it in park, or you kind of like let it sit in idle and you pull the emergency brake up, you see that it's Tulip that kind of reaches out and quickly kind of turns the car off and pulls the keys back towards her.
All right, well played.
Yeah, she gets out of the car. She holds the seat forward so you can come out from behind Helen.
I climb out
Yeah, you're not the only one.
and then I go. I go to Tulip. You're welcome to come along, but I don't know if this is the scene you want to be a part of right now.
Okay, yeah. I'll wait out here then.
Just keep an eye out if anything seems a little off. I don't think we're 100% out of the woods yet.
Okay. And you see that she kind of double checks with you the appearance of the Mustang that was taken.
Mm.
Let's see. I'll keep an eye out for this.
It was black, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know anything about cars.
Yeah.
Michelle doesn't know anything about cars, but
Yeah.
it's the top of the line Mustang of that year.
Yeah.
It's like it's the black one with the lights and the wheels.
Oh.
It has
I'll find one and I'll send it to you.
has the four
Oh,
wheels
the four wheels and the boop boop button.
and the boop boop
The boop boop
button.
button. The horn.
The boop boop button. I mean, the first Mustang was unveiled in 1965.
Mm.
So it just depends on which Mustang.
Actually, the first Mustang was unveiled whenever Mustang was turned.
So third generation. I think you'd have either second generation or third generation, because second generation is 1974 to 1978, and then the 1979 started the third generation, but they went all the way to 1993. So that might be one of the more recognizable bodies.
Mm.
I
I would
like,
look it up, but I can't.
yeah, no. I like the 1969 Giggity model, but I think she would have the 73 sports roof. I mean, if you remember Gone in 60 Seconds,
No.
the car that he's after is a 70.
Eleanor?
Eleanor is a 74, right?
No, 67.
67. Okay.
Shelby GT500.
Shelby. Yeah. Like I just saw a picture of a 1974 Mustang second generation. I was like, that's Eleanor. But yeah. This has been the car corner.
Oh, really? I will do my research and then I will pick a car and I will let you know.
Yeah.
Which one it is.
We got it. But yeah, you.
So I'm gonna walk in through the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a little bell that goes off that's on top of the door, and you see what looks to be a group of people kind of turn to look at the door. There's maybe about a dozen of them, and you can see what looks to be this young-looking, very European male sitting behind an easel and a canvas, and in front of him on a pedestal are a naked woman and a naked man kind of wrapped around each other, holding the pose. And a gentleman gets up and kind of walks over to you. You see that he's got a little donut of hair, kind of like the Friar Monk, where the top is bald. He's got a bit of a beard. Very nice linen suit, vest, slacks. Looks like something out of a southern plantation owner. And comes over. Like the only thing that he's missing is like a glass of lemonade, the wide brim hat, and some Negro slaves.
Oh my god.
But he kind of walks over to you. I'm dreadfully sorry, but this is a private party. Who all are you?
We are some special guests of Mr. Garter's.
Oh. Do tell, because I am Mr. Garter, and I do not remember inviting you.
And I look at I look at him and I look back across the street and I go, you indirectly invited us.
Oh. Mr. Greene's lackeys, asked he. All right.
Self-employed at the moment.
He
but-
turns around. Carry on, y'all. Carry on. I'll handle intrusion. And he motions for you to follow him into a side part of the gallery.
Okay. I was about to Axel Foley this. How much is this? Get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck
That's
out
what
of
I
here.
was about to
But,
say.
Yeah.
but like that's not Melvin. Like I couldn't do
Yeah.
it.
Man, if Melvin was that though, different
That would have been
game,
great.
different game
Yeah,
entirely.
different game entirely. Entirely. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's definitely something I could see on the Friday game.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well,
Well.
shh. That's for Friday. That's for Fridays.
That's for Friday. That's Friday talk.
But he does take you to a side part of the gallery where you notice that there's more sculptures, there's busts, and there's kind of collection of abstract pieces. One of them is titled "My Mother's Uterus." Another one is like my dad's.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, my dad's penis.
Oh yeah.
There's one that's kind of just has a question mark and then in quotations, what I thought was life.
Mm.
But
I take off my hat and I'm
Yeah.
just like interesting interesting pieces you have here, sir.
yeah, I'm not a fan of this wing, but you know, the youth seem to find something to cling to.
And I knew when I saw you that you were a classical man like such as myself.
Oh, are you a man of Van Gogh, or do you prefer Renoir, or are you not one of the classical masters?
Um
I am partial to Degas.
Oh, he's a bit dark for me, but I could see it. I could see it.
I always liked Van Gogh. Tragic story.
Yeah,
He never
sad
knew what
man.
he would become.
I mean, we tried to tell him. I tried to tell him, but neither here nor there.
He might not have heard you. And I make a joke like a smirk.
Yeah, you see him deadpan you, and he pulls out a handkerchief out of his vest pocket, and he puts it up to his mouth. Yes, quiet, and he puts the handkerchief back.
Exactly how I was hoping it would play out.
Yeah, Toreador? Fuck you.
Yeah. um
Oh man. That's
Yeah.
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I do apologize again for the intrusion, but Sheriff Greene, suggested we come and speak to you given the incident that occurred.
All right. The
And
man,
again look in
the
the direction.
has no tact, so I would assume that his agents would also lack in tact. No offense, of course.
Of course. And I pretend to pull a handkerchief out of my pocket and I put it over my face.
Oh man.
I took my hat off.
Mhm.
I'm being nice.
Yeah, you are.
I'm trying to be polite.
My hood is still up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like well, we're not really here to talk about tact or no tact. I'm just glad we're not in front of the naked people in the middle of your establishment.
Does nudity offend you?
No, not necessarily. Nudity for show seems a little anti-old-fashioned for me. I'm not really a fan of folks having to sell their bodies for money.
Oh, you should not come by on Thursdays, and Mr.
Right. Melvin Wright.
Mr. Wright. You're Mickey's boy.
My hands clench, and I'm like you see them slowly, and if Mustang's like behind me or near or like in a where she could see my hands, she sees them like clenching, and I'm like I guess I was, and I stutter when I say that.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry. Mickey was a good man for a Negro.
He was a good man for a man.
Yes, quaint. So I believe my establishment was targeted. Makes me think, however, because my gallery is still intact, clearly. So I don't think they're doing their homework or their due diligence, as it were.
They were definitely targeting something. I took a look at it when we were driving by before we came into your establishment, and they didn't mean to do any harm to anywhere else but your building.
Hmm. You see him cock his head at you. That's a mask, yeah? You wearing?
Mm. Mm-hmm. The normies don't tend to like what's underneath.
Right. You're not black, are you?
Not that it matters, but no.
All right, just making sure. I wouldn't want someone subpar handling my case.
Okay. Um. Well. Uh. Anyway, and I just kind of like I don't know with vampires if I could still crack my neck,
Yeah, sure.
but I crack my neck. Like when he says that, I'm just kind of like
Yeah.
So anyway,
Do you have any leads, Mr. Wright?
well, I'm sure you were aware of that little pesky incident that happened at the Elysium some time ago.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Well, we are in belief that that same organization that took out the prince and caused that havoc over there, fortunately for everyone else, myself and Mr. Wood delayed any further harm to others, such as yourself, of course.
Of course.
Um,
I mean, when you say
we
took
be-
out the prince, like, you're not talking about Prince Hyde.
no. I'm talking about the Elysium that led to Prince Hyde's rise.
Oh, all right. I understand now.
So I'm sure you've heard with a man of your means and knowledge of dying of first light.
Of course, I would have to. I'm a primogen, Mr. Wright.
Right. So we are in belief that first light is targeting some of our locations. Why, we don't know yet, but uh, we did witness the immediate aftermath at the Lucky Dime Diner.
Hmm.
We know of one other location aside from your previous establishment that was attacked today.
Oh,
Did you get any phone calls or any kind of, do you know if anybody at your at the Knife and Fork that may have gotten a call asking for somebody specifically by name, maybe Sheriff Greene or somebody else, or yourself for that matter?
I believe my child there might have made a phone call looking for Green at the diner at some point. But I've since chastised them and set them right on what is and should not be expected of a phone conversation. Um,
And that was tonight?
no, this was less than a fortnight ago. I don't have
Okay.
phones here though, so you know.
Because, Will, out of character,
Mhm.
They said that it was tonight. It was right before the attack that somebody called for and asked Green by name, right?
No, just that somebody has asked for that.
Oh, okay.
A couple people have asked for Green by name at the diner.
Okay. Now, Mr. Garter,
Mr. Rat.
was there any particular reason why they were calling and asking by name? Obviously, it must have been something that was of dire importance, given that it sounds like they may not have specifically asked for your permission, which is why you had to chastise them.
Correct. My childer had dealings with Mr. Andrew Gibbons, and so they wanted to pass on the information to Mr. Greene.
What kind of dealings did they have?
My childer had tried to entice Mr. Gibbons to come out of hiding by trying to purchase some of the blood roses. I don't know if you've been privy to their taste, but they are quite delicious.
So he was reaching out to Green to advise him of Gibbons' location?
Correct.
Understand.
Or where he could be found, since they were going to do a drop, as the kids say these days.
I look at Mustang, I'm like, anything you're curious about that Mr. Garter could assist with?
You see that this is the first time he's actually acknowledged Mustang. Like, he turns to look at her. He's like, "Oh, is this poor creature with you? I thought this was like a childer or some kind of ghoul that you carried around with you." My apologies, madam.
Mustang is visibly uncomfortable with all the racism he's been dropping,
Mm-hmm.
especially because she's not white.
Yep.
So I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
question.
Can I if I look at her, can I sense what's going on? Like, can I see it?
Are you trying to hide it, Mitch, or are you openly?
I think she's more openly kind of just repulsed by him.
Okay. It would take a wits and insight roll then for Melvin
Okay.
to see if you can notice.
Wits and insight. All right.
But yo, hunger dice.
Yeah, I know. I got their Christmas colors for this occasion.
Oh, how delicious!
How delicious. All right. Let's see what we got here. That's 2 2s, a 4. I got a 6, an 8, an 8, and a 10 on my hunger die.
Oh, so 3 successes.
4. I got
Four.
is it a 6 or higher?
Yeah, 6 or higher.
Yeah, so I got a 6, an 8, an 8, and a 10, and then a 2 2 4.
2-2-4, not 2-2-7.
Not 2 2 7. No Jack Hay here.
No, we're not moving on up.
Nope.
Yeah, it's easy enough. Yeah, all you needed was 2 successes. It's easy enough to see that she is definitely not happy to be around this motherfucker.
I kind of look back. I'm like, do you want to wait outside and I'll finish up?
Yeah.
Why don't you hang back with Tulip or go check out across the street?
Yeah.
See if you see anything. I'll meet up with you shortly.
As Mustang starts to walk away, you see that he stepped closer towards Melvin, and he's just like, "How very forward thinking of you to employ someone of her persuasion." And you see that
Yes, I do.
he kind of rubs the back of his forearm.
I go. I kind of just look up to him if he's still close to me, and I'm like, I don't employ anybody. She is a friend. She is a member of my group, an equal member of my group, and she has talents and gifts far beyond what you could imagine, primogen or not.
Hmm.
With all due respect.
Oh, of course.
I'm like, we're pleasantries aside, Mr. Garter, we're here to try to help and not cause any problems. By all means,
And
I do not want to come into your establishment here and
it's
bring your
appreciated. It's appreciated, Mr. Wright. Trust me, I appreciate it. I just want to make sure that you understand that sometimes you're gonna have to work a little bit harder than them since they're not as
right. So, and I just cut him off.
Yeah.
Like I just cut him off. I'm like, so, was there any kind of warning as to their attack? Were you here in the gallery? Were you at the building? Do you have any video footage or anything like that of the
Oh,
street we could
no,
see?
not at all. There was no warning. I was not here. I was in my domain, in my actual haven. I had woken up for the evening. I had received a number of messages about concerned employees. Apparently, the people that did this barred the doors and kept them inside, so I can only assume that whatever employees I had on tonight are probably dead or in
So
the
you don't know if
hospital.
anybody made it out.
Not at all. I mean, that's why I have a manager, Mr. Wright.
Did your manager make it out?
I assume so.
Do you have the information for your manager?
Sure. I, and you hear him, Isabel. And you see this Aryan-looking woman, maybe about early 20s, blonde, blue-eyed, like Hitler would have a hard on for this girl. She comes
Okay.
over. Mr. Garter? And he's like, Isabel, if you could be so kind as to give Mr. Wright here the information for the manager over at the restaurant. What's his name? And she's like, Edward, sir. Like, yeah, yeah. Give him his number, please. And where would it be reached and things like that. Like, of course. And you see her rush off.
And Mr. Garter, just obviously, again, I'm emphasize the fact that we're trying to do what's best for all of us. And I kind of point to him and myself.
Yeah.
Is there a more convenient way for us to get in contact with you as opposed to just walking into your art gallery?
I mean, the art gallery is the safest place to meet, especially since lightning doesn't strike twice. Or so I'm told. But you no longer have the home on the range, correct?
That's correct.
That was a nice little spot. Yeah, I think if I can't be found here, you can leave a message with Isabel. Isabel, get it to me.
Very well. So you're okay if we have any updates that we can just come to your establishment. I don't want to have any unpleasantry in front of
Yeah. As long as it's not
customers or the
Thursday,
like.
because I know that you don't like nudity, and Thursdays are our nude days.
You got it. At any day but Thursday.
Correct.
I'm like, well, Mr. Garter, obviously, if you think of anything else, if you want to just get it to Sheriff Greene, he'll relay the message, and we're going to do our part. But if there's nothing else that you can think of, I'll bid you good night. If with your permission, I'd like to go across the street and
Oh, sure.
take a look
As
myself.
long you You, Mr. Rat, are welcome here anytime.
Understandable. I appreciate that, Mr. Garter. And you have yourself a good evening.
Yeah. And as you wait for Isabel to hand you to give you the information, excuse me, we're gonna take a moment. And as Mustang comes outside, Tulip kind of looks over in your direction, and the second the door closes, she just looks at you. She's like, "I hate that guy." I always hate bringing information or coming to grab information from him. You
That's to
okay?
you, Mustang.
What?
Are you
That was
okay?
to you.
Yeah. All of this
Oh,
is
you're talking
to
to me?
yeah. All of this is to you.
Yeah.
This is
That's all
Oh,
you. Tulip's talking to you.
that's
I didn't hear
I
that
know,
at
I know.
all.
I saw your face. That's why I was like, wait.
yeah.
Mustang.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
That's
What? Oh my
sorry.
god.
That's okay. Tulip sees you come out, and she's like, "I hate that guy. I've always hated coming over here and getting information or bringing information. It's just, I don't know, something about him. Just, are you okay?
Not very welcoming, is he?
No, no. I think that's why Prince Hyde likes him so much.
Is Prince Hyde just like him?
Yeah,
Gross.
yeah. I think out of the whole court, the three that I hate going to the most are the prince, this guy, and Elias.
Hmm.
Just I try to send Leslie as much as possible whenever something comes in for them, but
Yeah, I didn't feel very welcome
yeah,
there.
it always treats me like a second-class citizen.
He didn't have nice things to say about Melvin's sire.
Oh, yeah. I figured he's he's racist.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. But she follows you across the street, and she starts to help you kind of look around. What are you looking for? Or are you just kind of
Uh,
scanning?
I want to see like the point of where the either the explosion or the fire started. So I'm looking for the
Okay.
that.
That'll be a wits investigation.
I have to pull up my stuff because I don't have it
Yeah.
on me.
And then
What's an investigation? That's
do you share that with Tulip so that you want her looking for the same thing, or do you just want her scanning around?
I think she should do it too. What's an investigation?
Okay.
So 4 and 3, 7.
See what she rolls. Oh no, a one on the hunger die. But it's the only one that came up lower than 6. Jesus. Tulip.
Oh no. So I have a 6 and a 5 on a hunger.
Okay.
I have a 9, a 10, a 9, a 2, and a 10.
Okay. Oh, you got tons of successes because you got double tens. Um, you noticed that the fire didn't start anywhere inside the building itself. Let me just find compulsions here. There it is. Wait. Um, I don't know what the Nosferatu one is. All of the fire looks like it originates at the door.
Front door.
from the front door. It arcs out. There's a little crescent shape of unburnt wood and stone that just fans out, and all the fire and all the scorch mark fans out from there.
Hmm. Like they used. Does it look like they used like a fire gun, like a
A flamethrower?
flamethrower?
It looks like it, yeah.
Okay. So I wonder if they use what they used to contain it, because that would have totally eaten. I guess it's wood. It's made of wood,
Yep.
primarily.
Yeah.
And the surrounding businesses are also made of wood.
Most of them, they have their stone foundations though.
And this building does not have a stone foundation.
It does not.
Oh.
So much so that you see excuse me, Tulip kind of start scratching at the ground. It's almost like she's looking for hidden trapdoors and whatnot. And it is at this point that kind of Melvin leaves the art gallery, the small index card of information given to you for Edward Norris. That is the manager of the Fork and Knife, the Knife and Fork, rather. You can see that Mustang is kind of still at the entrance of the restaurant. It looks like she's kind of knelt down. She's putting things together, and by contrast, Tulip is in the middle of the restaurant. She's like tossed some chairs about, and she's just scratching at the wooden floor, trying to find like trapdoors and whatnot. And you can just hear her kind of just whispering, secrets, 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 secrets. You recognize it as being your clan compulsion. Something must have happened to her that has forced this to bubble up in her.
Right. I walk up behind Mustang. I'm like, fuck that racist piece of shit. Fucking Colonel Sanders, motherfucker.
11 out of the Posses.
And I because Mustang, were you turned young? Like, are you young looking?
She's 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm sorry about that, kid.
Fine. There's always going to be stupid racist men in the world.
Especially, and I look around and I'm like, especially with the prince we got right now. He's the worst of all.
Seems like they're all son of a bitches.
Do you have any luck? Anything here?
Well, it seems like fire might have been started via flamethrower, and they stood right here, and they stand like in front of the door. Now, surrounding structures are also made of wood, but they seem to have stone foundations, and this one doesn't. I think Tulip is checking out the floor, see if there's anything she's found.
She's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at the moment. But do I know about that's because I know with the flower shop that we knew about the fact that they had hidden doors. So is that something that I would already be privy to?
With Tremere, maybe, but Toreador,
Not a Toreador.
Toreador aren't people to hide things like that.
Okay. My good.
Not from the ones
call.
that you've met, at least.
Okay. Well, I show the business card, and I'm like, well, according to the Aryan Brotherhood, this is the manager for the restaurant. Of course, being the caring owner that he is, he doesn't even know if this guy's alive, but he would have been working. So he might be able to give us some more info. I start and I go, but let me go check on Tulip. Good work with figuring that out. And as I walk in, I'm gonna start like looking around myself and see what's going on as I make my way towards Tulip.
All right. Give me a wits and investigation roll. See how many you get.
Wits. There's wits and investigation. Is that? I've rolled decent the last 2 times, so
Yeah,
I'm
so
due for a
here we
caca.
go. This is the swing of the pendulum.
Okay. Well, not so. Okay, so I got a 4, so that's a miss. But I got 8, 8, 7, a 9, and a 9, and then a 1. And the 9 and the 9 are on my hunger die.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of look around. You can see that there is parts of the floor that aren't on fire, that weren't on fire, that aren't scorched. So it lends credulity to the fact that this could have been a flamethrower. You also see that there's hard black kind of pools of where it looks like the fire ate more of the wood than normally expected. So you can definitely see the chemtrails of where the flamethrowers would have shot out their napalm.
Okay.
But you see that Tulip is just kind of scratching around, trying to find hidden doors that don't exist.
Okay. I'll go up to her and I'll be like, Tulip. There's nothing here.
She kind of looks up at you. They all hide something, Melvin. They always hide something.
Tulip. I checked. He does. If he's hiding anything,
She brings her hands up to your face. The kitchen. You're right. And she darts off into the kitchen.
I look back at Mustang. I'm like, this might take a minute, and I point out and I'm like, good call on the flamethrower.
What's wrong with her?
It's kind of our thing. Sometimes the need to find something that may or may not be there. Information. That's our thing.
You hear something heavy crash against something heavier.
And she might be dead now. And I turn around and I start walking. I'm like, and as I'm walking, I look back at her. I'm like, check to see if it looks like the doors were barred. Whatever's left of the doors, and then because in my head I'm thinking, doesn't make sense to me that you would bar the doors and then shoot the flamethrower at the door. Because that's where she said was standing, right in front of the door.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Like, why would you bar the door and then flamethrower it?
Yeah, no, the doors are still there. The door's still active. And on the inside of the doors, you can find what it looks to be some scratchings, fleck marks of flesh, blood, the burnt, blackened markings of somebody banging their hands. But yeah, on the outside, you scored enough successes to find that it does look like something kept the doors closed. There's a strain that looks to have been put on the handles because they're turned inward towards each other.
But there's nothing attached to them.
No.
Okay. And well, whatever. I'll make my way into the kitchen.
In the kitchen, you see that Tulip has taken the island where the food prep happened and has just turned it and is holding it up with her one arm. That thing looks monstrously heavy, and Tulip is a thin girl, but she has no problem holding that up. And you see her just kind of, her hair has come loose from its usual ponytail. There's strands that make her look like a wild woman that just come out of the water. And she kind of looks over at you, and you see her foot kind of slide over and then just pop a square 3x3 door open.
On the floor?
Mm-hmm. And she just looks at you. Secrets.
Holy shit. So she actually found something?
Yeah.
All right. I call for Mustang. Yo,
I head over.
Mustang! Put
A
a
girl.
banana in the tailpipe. So I walk, and I'm like, nicely done, Tulip.
And then once Mustang approaches, she very carefully puts the island down to the side and then starts to kind of pull her hair back. And you can see that her eyes are starting to soften again
Okay.
as she's regaining control.
I walk over to Tulip first before I even go to the door. I'm like, you all right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
I found something.
yeah, um, for once, our curse actually benefited us.
Hmm.
All right, I guess Mustang, and I point down to the thing. I'm like, we Tulip here found a door.
Right? Oh,
Like, I look at Tulip and I'm like, I'd normally say ladies first, but I'll do it. And I and I go to open the door.
Yeah, no, I remember she kicked it open, so
Oh, she kicked it open.
yeah, it's
Okay.
fully open. It's a little round corkscrew stairway going down what looks to be into a basement.
All right. I'll take out my gun,
Okay.
horsey case,
Yeah.
and I'll start making my way downtown.
Walking fast, faces past, and you're homebound.
And banana.
Yep.
And I activate Eyes of the Beast as I'm going down the stairs.
Mm. You descend into the darkness. It's not an issue for you because of the gift, the discipline that you've turned on. And you can see that at first glance, it looks like a wine cellar. There's just a couple of the fancy kind of crisscross pattern of bookshelves, of thick bookshelves that are holding wine bottles. But as you kind of blink and start to scan the darkness, you notice that opposite the wine wall, there is this very simple kind of screened off area that looks to have those folding screens, just a series of them that have kind of been placed in front of each other, skewed to make it very difficult to see past.
I'll make my way towards them. And I'll kind of, if they're following behind me, I kind of do like the signals with my hands, like over that way.
Okay. Does Mustang want to follow Melvin in, or does...
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I draw my gun.
Okay. Tulip sits at the top of the stairs. She's like, I'll just wait here.
All right, Tulip.
Um, you both move forward. You start pushing the screens aside, and after about sixth, seventh layer of screens, you come across what looks to be a disgusting sight, especially for Melvin. But there are what look to be some young girls, mostly. There's 3 girls, there's 2 boys. They look to be anywhere from like 15 to no more than 18. They all look emaciated. They all look like they've been fed dangerously low. There's some small kind of prison trays, plastic trays with plates of different half-eaten foods and whatnot. All of them are colored children. And you can see the telltale signs of abuse. You can see the welts on their back. You can see the bandages that some have used to kind of take some care for them. The boys in particular look to have their forearms from their wrist to their elbow bandaged. You can definitely tell that those are defensive wound marks. These do not look like they're in good shape. They definitely need hospital attention, hospital level attention.
Hello?
One of the boys kind of looks up at you. And then he looks over at one of the girls. It's your turn, Mabel. They're here to feed.
I put the gun away.
That is Mustang.
Yeah,
and I walk.
One of the girls stands up. Here you are, sir. And you see her offer her forearm to you.
They're chained up.
They're tied up.
Okay, I go up to Mabel, and where it may look like I'm gonna feed, but I'm gonna break whatever binds she has.
Simple rope. And you hear them all kind of gasp, and some of them start to like try to figure out how to retie their bonds to their ankle or to their hands, their wrists, wherever they were bound. And you just hear them, "Oh no, Mr. Garter gonna be upset."
Fuck Mr. Garter.
Mustang unties the two remaining children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start on the other end, like untying them.
Okay. Yeah. You start to untie them, and they start to try to tie themselves back up. Most of them can't do it because they're just so weak. And then finally, one of the boys kind of stands up. This isn't right. We belong to Mr. Garter.
No, you don't.
Yeah, when she says that, I just shake my head. I'm like, you don't, but you belong to no one. You're free like the rest of us.
He shakes his head. No, sir. He paid for us.
I don't.
She comes. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go no, go Mustang, go.
She comes down to their level and says, "We're gonna take you out of here. Do you understand? We're gonna get you the care that you need, and you're gonna go far from away from this place, and you're never gonna see Mr. Garter again. Do you understand me?"
He gonna be upset then.
I don't give a fuck. Come on. And I try to get I untie as many as I can, and then I take the little girls.
Yeah, they stand there. Unless you like physically pull them, like they'll stand there, almost afraid to move.
I want to use compel.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say I don't want to be physical.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't want to be physical with them because they've already been abused enough. Like, because I could easily grab them and just be like, "Vamos."
We're leaving. Yeah, it's easy enough. They're humans, so they don't
Can I compel all of them at once?
Not all of them at once, but you can compel the main boy, and he can convince the others.
Okay. So I want to.
What do you tell him?
I have to tell you what I say to him, right?
Yep.
We are here to take you to safety. You are not safe here. You have been fed on, and you do not deserve to be down here. This is. I'm not going to tell them their names. Yeah. Their names. Me and this gentleman right here are not going to hurt you. We're going to take you to safety and care.
He looks back at the rest of them. We don't belong here. They're gonna take us. Safety and care. And he kind of starts to follow you. And you see one of them kind of reach out to him, grab his hand. I can know. Mr. Gotta gonna be mad. And you see he just pulls his hand. They're gonna take us to safety. And just starts to follow you. And slowly, the girl named Mabel kind of starts to follow him. And she kind of turns back. She shrugs at the rest of them. And one by one, you see them just kind of find their courage to just get up and leave. They follow you out.
Oh, okay. I kind of get as close as I can to Mustang.
Mm.
And I apologize if it's uncomfortable, but I get like as close as possible so that they can't hear me.
Mm-hmm.
And I whisper to Mustang, I'm like, we can take them to, they need to go to the hospital, but they know what we are. Because I saw what she did, right? Would I be able to tell that she convinced them, or is it just I saw her talk and they like? How does that work with her ability?
You don't have dominate, so you don't know what
Okay.
she's doing. You just heard her say those things to them, and then he
said yeah.
Yeah, he kind of just interpreted the way
Okay.
you wanted him to.
So I just tell you either way blindly, like we need to try to maintain some semblance of the masquerade.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that right now. But sure. Fine.
Also, we're in a Trans Am, and now there's way more people than would fit in there. So
Find a van.
I wish, but fucking Albert took my van.
There should be another van around here that we can take.
All right, I'll kind of walk ahead and go to Tulip. I walk up. I'm like, we're about to have some additional guests that are coming.
She nods.
We need to get them to some medical care. There's not enough room in the Trans Am.
No.
Any chance of procuring something a little more comfortable?
I mean, if you want to wait here for like 30, 45 minutes.
Okay, lead them. And I don't know how if Mustang is already coming up or not, but
Yeah.
I say lead him out the back. We don't want him to, in case he's looking out to the storefront that we're doing this. Give me a minute. Let me see what I can find on the street.
I take them to the back.
Okay.
And I'll walk out.
Tulip follows you.
Do you see anything? Actually, we don't even need a van because some of them can fit in the Trans. How many people fit in that Trans Am? Like 4? 3?
3.
Including the driver?
Well, 3. Yeah. They're small enough that you could fit 3 of them.
Okay.
There's 7 of them, no?
There's 5.
5.
3 girls, 2 boys.
I look for just any car that's on the street. That looks easy enough.
Okay. About a block down, you can see what looks to be another Cadillac.
All right, I'll walk up to it, look around, see if I see anything like anybody.
No. Just you and Tulip.
Look and see if there's any alarms in the car.
Nope. Car looks
All right.
old. The paint job's faded.
Okay.
Rust spots here and there.
Perfect. I'm gonna just check and see if the door is open.
It is.
Oh. Should I check the trunk if there's drugs and the keys in the ignition? Like whatever. Like Gone in 60 Seconds, another callback.
Alright.
I asked Tulip, I'm like, do you know how to hotwire one of these?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I check the sun visor
The
first.
visor? Yeah, keys drop down.
Oh shit. Bam. Thank you,
Terminator 2.
movies.
Yeah.
Yep. And I go, never mind. I get in the car. Tulip is probably a better driver than I am.
Probably.
So I'll have Tulip drive.
Okay.
Actually, no, because she's got to get the Trans Am. So I'll tell her to get the Trans Am, and I'll drive this car because she's got to drive the Trans Am
I
to
don't have
get
the
her.
keys.
You have the keys, or you don't? No, she took
I
them, right?
don't have the
Yeah,
keys.
yeah.
She has.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell Tulip, bring it around back, and then I'll take this car.
Okay, sure. Just to walk towards your Trans Am. You see this old, disgusting, tired Cadillac just drive around with Melvin in the driver's seat.
Like, she's coming with the other car. We can split them up.
Yeah, I hope you didn't mean for me to drive this one.
I can drive it if you don't want to.
You haven't even
Gotta
honked the
convince
horn.
Tulip for another. I have to convince Tulip for another shot at driving that other car.
She'll be coming around behind me. And I motion for however whatever kids can fit in the car to fit in the car.
Not the first time Helen's come up behind a man.
Mm.
And sure enough, you see the Trans Am pull up. You can fit all 5 in the Cadillac.
But I can't fit Mustang
No,
in all 5.
no.
So I'm like, Mustang, do you want to ride in the Trans Am?
Yep.
I know. I figured you did. And then I'll go towards the local hospital. I'll
Okay.
start driving.
Yeah.
While we're driving, I'm gonna have a heart to heart with the kids, talking about how important it is to keep quiet and the importance of, it's going to sound messed up, but I'm trying to think of ways to, because if they breach the masquerade, it's going to be even worse for them
Yep.
too. So I'm telling them, you got to be careful, because if Mr. Garter hears that you're telling people what he did to you and what you saw and what you or what you think you saw, that could have worse consequences. So it's better for you to just, get them help that you need and move on with your lives, as opposed to telling them everything that happened.
You see most of them nod for the most part. But you drive up to the hospital. You just dropping them off, or you?
Yeah, no. Listen, I know how that hospital works.
No, can I get out of the car and talk to them quickly?
Yeah, sure.
I want to either use compel or cloud memory so that they forget what's been happening to them.
Oh, that would be cloud memory.
Can I do that to all 5?
At the same time, no. That would be one at a time.
Can I do it one at a time then?
You can. I think cloud memory has a rouse check. No.
No, it's a free.
Oh, you lucky.
Mm.
Yeah.
If not, it'd be like, hey, I'm gonna cloud your memory and then rip your throat out.
Yeah, and then
when I get the hunger.
I'm gonna eat this other one, so that we don't have to worry about a masquerade breach.
So yeah, can I kind of? I tell Melvin. Well, I come up to Melvin.
Yeah, it's only gonna erase like the current moment and the last few minutes, so they won't remember you ever freeing them, or bringing them to the hospital.
Good too. That's good too.
They will remember what happened to them. A higher level power to erase memories.
And we're gonna.
My thinking is they'll probably be so scared that they won't say anything. That's what my hope is. But at the same time, fuck Garter, so I don't really care if they throw him under the bus. So I'm with you with whatever you decide.
I mean, you
then
do
they're
know
gonna
that.
forget.
Yeah, you do know that the worst thing that's going to happen is maybe the Garter will get a slap on the wrist, but these 5 will die if there's a masquerade breach, because mortals are going to get this shit under the stick.
Right. I just wonder, like, they're also gonna forget, like, the last 10 minutes where Melvin told them to not say anything.
Yeah. But you don't know that he said that to them.
Right.
Right, but
So
I would have told Melvin, hey, I'm gonna kind of
And then he would have countered.
erase away. Yeah, I'm gonna erase away the last 10 minutes or half.
I mean, I still
hour.
think it's a good idea for us to not be associated with it.
Yeah.
Or see, maybe.
Horsey
I just
case.
wonder, like, if there's like a benefit to even clouding their memory.
I mean, they wouldn't. They would have no idea of us. So if they were captured and they were compelled, they would say who it was that freed them.
Can I just compel them not to remember us?
No, you can't. You can't.
Well, you might as well just do the cloud.
Yeah.
Because then they'll forget. Will said they forget us. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just saving their own ass, though. Like, I feel like they're doomed. I feel like they're
But look,
doomed.
we did it. We did a good deed.
See
We
what
did our
happens.
good deed. They would have been locked up. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
We can always check
So,
on them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Back at the
So
hospital.
I want to cloud memory
Okay.
each of them.
Sure. And
You know.
yeah, they all kind of, after you cloud each of their memories, they all kind of like stand there looking at each other. They see the hospital, they recognize it for what it is, and then they kind of holding each other's hands or holding each other, like supporting each other. They just walk into the hospital emergency room. You can see that some of the nurses just kind of rush to help them.
Drive off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get in the car with Melvin.
Okay. Yeah.
Once we get out of the hospital area, I'll stop and I'll like signal for Tulip to come around.
She does. Pulls up next to you.
I'm like, we did a good thing today.
Yeah, you did.
You were part of that. You're the one that found that door.
Kind of looks out, and then she looks back at you. Yeah, I'm not gonna take credit for that. That's on you guys.
I think we should keep this between us.
Yeah, that's smart.
We're gonna probably head back.
Okay.
What time? I'm sure it's getting kind of late now, right?
Yeah, by now it's almost 3:30.
Yeah, so I'm like, we're gonna head back. Do us a favor. Keep an eye out for Mustang.
Yeah.
And if you hear anything, you know where to find us.
Yeah. And she drives off. Very smoky in the bandit style too. Like she just tears rubber.
I go to so we start when we leave the hospital. I tell Mustang I know this isn't exactly the kind of vehicle you like to be seen in, but if
I'll drive.
okay. And I get out of the car and I get into the passenger seat.
Okay.
I'm
Fire
like,
drill.
I turned to Melvin. Like, I guess now that we're in the car, kind of just driving back.
Yeah. Where are you going? Back to the apartments?
Yeah, that's what I would say, right? Because it's getting late. Or no? I'm asking you, Misha.
Oh, I thought you were asking Will.
No, I'm asking you because it's getting late. So do you...
I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Are we closer to the apartment, or are we closer to like where the hippie commune is?
No, the hippie commune is in West Salem. Like,
Okay,
unless
okay.
you cross the bridge, you are never going to be near the hippie commune.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so we're better off just going back to the apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
So, what do you want to talk about on the drive?
Oh yeah. Sorry about the whip thing.
Don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah. Sorry about on behalf of my race for that asshole back there.
Fuck that guy. It's not the first or the last.
Just know you're not standing alone. You're not going to be alone anymore. We did a
Thanks.
good thing today.
Yeah. I just hated seeing those kids there, you know. The way he talked about, and he just awful.
I hope he ends up being one of the bad guys. And like
He is a bad guy.
yeah. Sometimes it's tough for me to get past the whole detective thing. I still got that small semblance of doing the right thing. But
they're all in on it. Getting this other guy to be the prince.
I hate to ask you of this of you and Connie, but I need to find out what happened to Mickey. And I'm giving you a heads up. There may be more. The city may burn even more if I find out that there was some wrongdoing on their part.
Let's figure it out then.
We've lost way too much. I'm tired of losing.
Feel like we're gonna keep losing.
I think it's time we might need to change our tactics. Doesn't seem like the lawful way of doing things is working out too well for us.
Now you're speaking my language.
And to misbehave.
And I just kind of smirk at Mustang, and I just look out into and like out the passenger window.
Yeah.
And
And
see the trees and the things pass
yeah.
by, and it's
Yeah.
all foggy.
See the
Yeah, and then
Like
Rocky Mountains in the distance.
yeah.
Yeah, and as you drive around and you come around the front of the apartment building to try and find a space to kind of just leave the car, you see Mustang's black Mustang parked in front.
Part of me thought that these people were gonna go back. Like, isn't that your?
I don't think we should go upstairs. I don't think we should go upstairs if that's here. Who's upstairs right now?
I mean, we are missing Lydia and the head.
The head. Is there a phone we could call in the apartment?
We could just ask the front desk.
Okay.
And we'll.
Out of character, is this building owned by Vampire?
Yep.
Yeah, Anastasia, right?
Yeah,
The
Anastasia
whole
Richards.
building.
Yep.
The whole building.
Whole
Yeah,
building.
because she gave us that. She gave us that suite.
Okay. Okay. We should go to the front desk.
And you see the big guy
What?
that's always there. Look at you,
Okay.
Mr. Wright. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I got a question for you. Has anybody from our apartment come up there, or did you see who drove in that nice Mustang out there?
I believe it was the young lady with the British accent.
I look at Mustang.
Okay.
Okay. Has anybody else come or called or anything like that?
There was a gentleman that came, rotund fellow, left a message, and he kind of slides an envelope that has the letter MB on the top of it. Just slides it to Mustang.
That's for me.
Yep.
Okay. I hand it to Mustang without a question.
Yeah. You heading up, boss? So I can announce you, or
Yeah.
you see me get on the
Appreciate that.
walkie-talkie? Willie, got 2 coming up.
You have a good night.
You too, man.
Stay safe. And I start walking.
Yeah. You get in the elevator, you pop up to your floor, and you see that the podium is empty.
Podium?
There's a little podium where the other guard would normally be at.
Hmm. Oh my God! And there's cameras everywhere, so I can't go invisible.
Nope.
I know what he knows because I'm just.
Like
Yeah, you know that there's
what
always
was,
somebody up here.
yeah, and I'm like this is, and I look at Mustang. Actually, I don't even say anything. I look at Mustang, and I reach into my jacket.
I do
I
too.
pull up
And I
and I
pull
pull out my gun.
Okay.
But I don't put it like brandish it like this. Like I have it, like
Yeah.
down by my side, and I'm just like, I kind of pop my head out.
There's nothing. There's no signs of scuffle. You can hear the walkie-talkie on the podium. Look, man, whenever you come back, let me know if the 2 made it up safely.
How far is the podium from me?
It's maybe 30 feet.
30 feet's a lot. 30 feet.
I mean, it's 30 feet to the podium, and then it's like another 60 to 90 feet from the podium to the apartment door.
Okay. I look at Mustang and I just say, I point to myself and then to the podium. And I do like a walkie-talkie gesture, like.
Mhm.
And I take, I start moving towards, but I use let me see, I use silence of death.
Okay. You get up to the podium. You can see that the walkie-talkie's there. It's set to a low volume. The earpiece is still dangling from the actual receiver. And then you hear whistling coming down the hallway.
And I'm behind the podium.
Yep.
I duck down.
Okay. And after a minute, you see rounding the corner the thin framed Willie kind of look at you. Mr. Wright, you okay?
I get up, I stand up, and I put my gun away, and I go, Willie, you're not at your post. We thought something had happened.
Oh, I mean, something did happen, and you see him put one hand like an O, and he puts his finger in and out of it,
Whoa. What?
almost like the mage hands that happened.
No, he didn't. He did
Yeah. Yep.
and I'm like, huh. Okay. You might want to radio back down
Oh yeah.
that we got here.
I just didn't want to take it with me, you know. Makes her uncomfortable.
Sure. I totally understand. Mustang, we're
I start walking towards the apartment.
Okay.
I just gotta go past this ridiculousness.
Yeah.
like
You
I would
see-
say have a good night, Willie, but it seems like you already did.
Oh, I did. You see him kind of fixing his tie. But thank you for the offer, Mr. Wright.
I didn't offer anything. Equate
Bet
I
you
kill him. No, I'm just kidding.
that'll teach him. Yeah, you make your way to the apartment and you
Not
can
a prostitute.
yeah, who does he think he is? Call girl at best. And you see that on the coffee table is the head in the jar, and sitting on the couch is Lydia.
You took my car.
She points at the keys on the coffee table. I had to. I apologize.
Why did you take my car?
Because he was either that or get shot at by members of the police force. So I chose the lesser of two evils.
Fine, just don't do it again. I grab the keys.
Yeah. The head in the jar kind of swivels in your direction as you grab the keys. I have been dying for somebody to talk to. She's just has been giving me the cold shoulder this whole time. And you see her kind of, Lydia gets up, unfolds a newspaper, and just kind of wraps it around the head in the jar. And then just, I'm going to make my way to the room. I've had enough of her for one night.
Lydia, 1 second. And I close the door.
Yeah. He stops. And you can just hear, can somebody get this off of me? It's awfully dark in here.
I take the newspaper off of the head.
Okay. You're a doll.
Did you just did they come up to you? How did they decide to just shoot at your car?
They unfortunately saw me arguing with the head in the jar. And you hear, I have a name. Thank you. And Lydia just refuses to look in its direction. But one of them saw me talking to the head in the jaw. And since I was holding it up to make her look at me in the eyes, it was a bit of an uncomfortable situation.
But you both made it out okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, get some sleep.
Yeah. You as well.
And I'm glad you're okay.
All right. Very well. Glad you made it safe and sound. Do something with her, please. And she immediately rushes into her room and closes the door. And as you two are left with the head in the jar, who is just eager to talk to you, I think this is a good portion to leave it off on, as you are about to go to sleep for the day anyway. So as always, I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in and checking us out. Thank you to the raid that came in. I hope you guys are enjoying our What If the Beckoning Happened in 1980, Salem, Oregon. Our game takes place in 1984. We have two chapters going simultaneously. This is our Camarilla chapter. Our Anarch chapter will happen next Monday. And as always, you can find us revolving games here. Tuesdays happen to be our Legend of the Five Rings or Werewolf the Wild West. Fridays happen to be Star Wars, the West End version, because that is a superior version. and I will argue that to the day I die. And we just started a Dungeons and Dragons game. So you have 3 chances, 6 games to kind of watch if you want to. As always, please continue to wear your mask, continue to keep your distance, continue to wash your hands in public because we're still not out of the woods yet. If you are of age and can get the vaccine, please consider getting the vaccine, as it will help tremendously, especially coming into the winter season. It is cold, and it is getting colder, especially out here where I am. I have finally figured out what layers are, and I'm surprised by that. But also, one of the big things here on the channel is that we take mental health very seriously. So if you feel like you need to reach out and ask for help and you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in our chat to help you get that information out to you. If you're not in the United States, there is a link going up as well to help you get the help you need in the areas that you are closest to. Because it is okay to not feel okay, and mental health should not be hidden behind a taboo kind of wall or a stigma kind of tag. Mental health is general health, so please, if you need help, take care of yourself. If you have a friend or family member that is usually a strong or happy-go-lucky personality, please check in on them, because you never know how far a hi or how are you can definitely change the trajectory of somebody's life. But as always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good night.